All right, CMA Nation, let's get right into our two-day look at MLB win totals. Today, we will cover the New York Mets and the Los Angeles Angels. Let's start with the Mets, who won 89 games last season, finished in second place, 6 games behind the Philadelphia Phillies in the National League East. This year, their over-under is set at 90.5. So let's take a deeper dive and see what we think about this year's squad. I think any conversation has to start with the massive offseason signing of all everything Juan Soto. Soto instantly makes this lineup one of the most dangerous in the league. Over the past 2 seasons, he's averaged 38 home runs, 109 RBI, and a 282 batting average. Just a massive addition to an already strong offense. But I also really like that they re-signed Pete Alonso. This was another key move that gives them a proven power hitter who can protect pitches thrown to Soto in that lineup. Alonso hit 34 home runs and 88 RBI last year. I also like Brandon Nimmo and Mark Vientos. And I think an underrated signing was that of Jesse Winker, who is not the flashiest of moves, but he'll slot in nicely as DH and probably the 6th spot in that order. The Mets were 6th in home runs and 7th in RBI last season, and they should surpass those numbers this year. The offense is going to be elite. Pitching, though, is where things get a little bit shaky. They brought in Frankie Montas to be their ace. Unfortunately, he's out at least 6 to 8 weeks due to an injury occurred in spring training. And Sean Manaea is another guy they brought in who's battling injuries. He should be back a little bit sooner, but it's just not an ideal way to start the season. They also lost Luis Severino in the offseason to the A's, so their rotation is definitely thin early on. Kodai Senga, David Peterson, Clay Holmes, all decent pitchers. Who will start at the top of the rotation as the season begins, but just don't have a lot of confidence in this pitching staff. Now, their bullpen also saw a lot of turnover. But Edwin Diaz is still the closer. He's not elite, but he's a solid option there. I really, too, like the signing of AJ Minter, who's going to be a great setup man and could even take over as closer if Diaz struggles. So what's the verdict here? The Mets offense is going to be elite, and Soto's addition only strengthens that. But the pitching, especially the starting rotation early on in the season, is a concern because of those injuries. 90.5 wins is a high number. And while I think they can get there, I just don't feel super confident about it. So we are going to take the over, but we're just going to give it one baseball on the confidence meter. All right, let's now shift gears and look at the LA Angels, who won 63 games last season and finished in dead last in the AL West. Their over-under is set at 71.5. So they did make some key offseason moves, but is it enough for a 9-win improvement? Let's take a look and see. So the offense does have potential. I like that they brought in Jorge Soler. He's got some power as the new cleanup hitter. Not exactly a contact machine, but he will supply some home runs, that's for sure. Zach Neto is an exciting young player who joined the 2030 club last season, but he's battling injuries early on. Not sure when he'll be able to return. Logan O'Hoppe also continues to improve at catcher, giving the Angels a nice solid bat in the lineup. Then there is Mike Trout. When he's healthy, he's still one of the best in the game, but that is a big if. He has played 82 or few games 3 times in the last 4 seasons, and he hasn't reached the 120-game plateau once since 2019. If he can stay healthy and on the field all year, this offense should be decent. The problem is going to be pitching. The Angels were bottom 5 in ERA last season and second to last in strikeouts. They did add Yusei Kikuchi, who's solid, but not a dominant ace yet, and Jose Soriano will slot in as their number 2. Beyond that, the rotation is simply uninspiring. The bullpen did get a huge boost with the signing of Kenley Jansen. From Boston, he's coming off 3.29 ERA, a 1.06 whip, and 26 saves. He will provide much-needed stability at closer. Brock Burke has looked really strong in spring training so far, and Garrett McDaniels is an intriguing option, but the rest of the group just has some real question marks. So the final verdict, the Angels did make some improvements, but they're still a bad team. This franchise hasn't made the playoffs in 10 years, and that streak is not going to end anytime soon. A 9-win jump is possible, but it's hard to see it happening unless Trout stays healthy all season and their young pitchers step up big time. So we're going to take the under 71.5 wins here, but again, not with overwhelming confidence. We'll give it 2 baseballs on the confidence meter. That's all we got today, CME Nation. We'll be back tomorrow with 2 more. Take care. See ya.